Hello.
Hello. I have no idea what's going
guys,
on.
this is
Our internet's being jacky, so I
man.
have no clue what's going on.
Don't know if
with
we're
it.
even on.
So, welcome, Haunted Soulz. Welcome to Beyond the Shadows podcast, hosted by Haunted Soulz Paranormal. It is April 30th. This is episode 15, season 2. I don't need your help, man. You just take that. What?
I'm not. I'm looking at you and I'm like,
you're banking that I'm going to mess up.
No.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
All right. Can everybody hear us? Everybody good?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're on.
Good.
If not, well.
Kind of running behind, don't know what it is. It's the first time the intros stopped like that.
I know it's never stopped like that, so hopefully everything's
good. But weather-wise,
it's been warm.
It's pretty warm out
there.
Pretty
warm. It's cold in the mornings, warm at night, or warm during the day.
I took the 2 pieces off the Jeep top today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was kind of nice.
Yeah,
it was kind of nice and everything.
Good weather for it.
Yeah. Who's all in?
Jessie.
Was the first.
She was the first this week. She said, "Woohoo! Hey everyone!" She got here 15 minutes before we even planned on starting.
What's up?
And Kathy, she said, "Hey y'all, hello." Lauren said, "Hi everyone."
Fresh off the Texas.
Brandon said, "Hi guys,
What's
hello."
Up, Brandon?
Jeannie, hello.
What's up, Jeannie Lamb?
And Kathy said, "Be back. Have to get pizza." Hey, we're having pizza tonight.
So we're having pizza too.
And then War Criminal 7 said, "Hey y'all, hello."
What's up? Welcome back.
Yeah. I don't know if we might be lagging behind for everybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
If more people come in there, no.
Yeah. Jeannie said hello.
What's up, Jeannie? She's fresh off of Texas
yes. War Criminal. So what state are y'all located? Missouri.
You were in Missouri. We're in Fenton, Missouri. Our guest tonight is from Missouri too. So.
Yeah. If you don't know where Fenton is, it's literally
St.
Louis.
Yeah, it's like
St.
the
Louis,
city county line of the city county. Yes.
But yeah, since we're running a little spiel, it was
a couple of things that happened this weekend. I finally got to go to Limp Mansion.
Yes.
Which was nice. I finally, after living in St. Louis 52 years, I actually finally got to go in that place.
Yeah.
So now people can say, "Have you been to Limp?" I can say, "Yeah, I've been there."
Haven't investigated.
I didn't investigate. Well, I did have my spirit talker out and stuff, and got some really cool stuff with that. With the spirit talker, like when we all came down to the second floor, and gathered in a group and said, "Hello, hi everyone," and I'm the spirit talker. So that was kind of cool. I did see a shadow in the Zeke's room. Or
no, that's the Lewis and Frederick room.
What's the boy though?
That's the Lewis room.
That's where the boy was stayed at. Was that door right there? That's where I saw the shadow.
No, that's just like Zeke runs behind the walls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's in that area that Zeke runs behind the walls. I saw a shadow when we first got up there and stuff run kind of across and stuff like that. But it's a pretty cool it's a lot of different. There's a lot going on Thursdays when you do a tour.
Yeah, there's the restaurant's
going on,
open,
and you can hear all the dishes.
Yeah,
and all the smells from all the lovely food.
It smells good in the Limp
Mansion. It does smell good when you're eating there. And I have to admit, your sandwiches
they're good.
Are pretty damn good. The club sandwiches there are pretty damn good, and everything. And Mark invited me down there from seeaghost.com. Mark, he said, "Hey, if you're down there," because I was down at the mansion helping Nicole with some things. He's like, "Hey, come on over." And if you ever been into Mark's office, he's got all kinds of cool stuff and everything. But I was telling him that I was wanting a exorcism kit and everything. I've been looking for like the one that kind of sits up with the water, with the holy waters and stuff. And he's like, "Well, have you ever seen these?" And he pulled these out. He pulled these crucifixes out. Oh wow, what's that?
I pressed the button.
So he pulled this crucifix out and he goes, I was like, "Well, he goes, no, it's an exorcist kit." And so what it does is it slides up. The cross goes in like this, and then it has real old 2 candles and a bottle of holy water and instructions Just in case you need to what to do.
I like the instructions. I read them. I said, first, call a priest.
Yeah, it says first call a priest. But these are newer candles he got. So they kind of sit in like this. And then they have the holy water and stuff. But that's your exorcist kit. And he's like, here you go. I was like, oh, these are cool. And I gave it back to him. He's like, oh, no, this one's yours. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I got like 4 of them.
He does. He also got like a serial killer kit and
so
got a bunch of cool stuff.
I got to go see Limp, and I got a exorcism kit. So that was my bonus night for Thursday.
Yeah, you did have
He's starting to like me more than you, Mo.
I don't know.
He just wants to stick you in dark places.
He does. Well, Dad showed him my solo video on TikTok, and he was like, "Oh, I know it perfect." He's just like, "Oh, go in there alone. Oh, go in there alone." I'm like,
he knows she's terrified.
I'm like, man.
Get some more before we go.
Yeah. War Criminal said y'all are out there with Krista and Brandy.
Correct.
Yes. Andrew Nikki said hi.
Andrew Nikki.
Brandon said Wi-Fi is good so far.
That's
Good.
All right.
Andrew Nikki said, who are you looking to exercise?
I just want one.
Just in case.
If everybody don't know, our studio is in the process of being changed.
Yes.
I just bought
some stuff too.
Did you? I just ordered some stuff.
What was a couple things in my big package that came to the house? A couple things.
We're actually in the process of setting up our studio in a haunted location.
Yes.
Our podcast, hopefully by the week we come back on the 19th, the 20th or the 21st of May will be our first going live from the mansion.
Yeah.
And we'll have Nicole on for a little bit. Yeah. And we'll talk about our adventures in Tennessee at the battlefield, at Lott's house and the battlefield and the war, Civil War. And hopefully things are going to go well. And we get that done. So we're working on that one. So a couple more weeks in this lovely abode.
Be excited. Teresa said, I need y'all crucifix at work. Just saying.
Yeah, you do. You work at a nursing home and stuff. Yeah.
Ooh. The Haunted Chronicles podcast said, hey guys.
Well, speaking of Horror Chronicles,
we'll bring them on.
Yeah, let's bring them on. They're our guests.
What's up, everybody? Hey, I'm JT. This is Ryan from the Horror Chronicles. We saw everybody in the chat, so we just thought we'd say hey.
Yeah. We weren't trying to rush you.
No.
You've been super patient. So
no, man. You guys are telling some cool stories, man. I'm digging it.
Freaking exorcism kit is awesome.
Dude, that is awesome.
I was like, when he took it apart, I was like, oh, and then he stuck it up there. I was like, when he, the cross sits up and the candles, and it's got the original candles and little, holy water bottle.
Yeah.
There's no holy water in it, but I would think they evaporated. But it does come with instructions. And the first thing it says is call a priest.
Yeah.
That wouldn't do Ryan any good. He can't read. So.
I cannot read, but I am ordained. So
yeah.
There you go.
There you go. You're a little step closer to the normal person.
That's right.
So we met you guys last year, which is coming around to a year at Haunted American Hauntings Paracon, which is coming up in about a month or so.
Yeah.
So and everything. If you guys want to explain to your guys how you guys got started, what you're all about.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's funny. We've been doing this 5 years now.
Yeah, something like that.
So originally, I worked for a company. I delivered to JT's work, and we originally
delivered his package.
Yeah, we originally started talking about we're heavy metal heads and stuff like that. So we started talking about music, and then we got into talking about horror movies and stuff. And you know what? I was just like, let's start a podcast, And
I was like, what the fuck is a podcast? I'm sorry. Am I allowed to curse in here?
Yes.
Okay,
perfect. Good to go.
Perfect. I'm pretty sure you guys knew what you were in for when you asked us to come on this show.
Yeah.
We're
18 plus.
We're 18 plus. So
yeah. Okay. So Ryan, him and I, we went to lunch one day and started talking about stuff, and he was like, "Hey, man, let's start a podcast." And I was like, "I don't even know what the hell that is." And he was like, "Oh man, here, check it out." And he pulls his phone out and he starts playing some, I don't know, god awful bullshit to me or something. And I was like, "All right, man, let me look at that, I guess."
It was the band Lunatic.
And yeah, probably.
Sorry, that's an inside joke, guys.
No, but anyway, it was funny. We just kind of hit it off, man. We had the same interests, and we like to talk about, So basically, what was happening is we were getting together every day, and we were talking ghost stories and talking about all kinds of different paranormal stuff and different horror movies that we liked. And hey, I saw this. Did you see that? Blah blah blah. And it just made sense for us to just sit at a table and record it and force everybody else to listen to it. I mean, what can I say there?
So basically, guys, on our podcast, we talk about like everything that's out there, cryptids, paranormal, UFOs, horror movies, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's really cool. We talk about this a lot on our show and stuff, but it's funny that this genre of that we're in here, how actually welcoming and just awesome the people are. It's stuff that people would think is fringe and creepy or just not normal. It's some of the best people I've ever met. Like going to the Haunted America conference with you guys and like just meeting all these people.
Dude, we were walking by and we saw your table and we're like, "Hey, let's talk to these guys." And I could just see the look on Dan's face. He's like, "Oh God."
No, I'm the one who talks all the time.
He's the one that talks.
No, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, it was super cool, man. You guys were really welcoming and, talked to us like we were humans. And it was funny. Just about everybody there did, even the people that were, I'm going to say famous, because to me, they're famous, even they would talk to us.
Yeah.
And it was just cool, for two guys in mid-Missouri that like to talk about horror and paranormal. We fit right in with everybody.
I mean, you had the mechanic shirt on too, so I have to say that.
Yeah.
Pretty,
Yeah.
I can't talk to a fellow guy that wears the same kind of shirt that I,
Right.
Yeah, no, I think that was just growing up loving paranormal. That was something that was really cool. That when you get into these paracons and you're surrounded yourselves with who love paranormal. It's crazy how everyone can sit there and just talk for hours about paranormal stories or cryptic stories. And you just feel like it's a normal thing. You don't feel like you're crazy or be like, I'm weird for thinking this.
Yeah. It's funny. I say that all the time. I'm like, people want to walk up to me, and I'm in the automotive business when I'm not doing this. People walk up to me and they want to talk to me about cars or different stuff or, "Hey, I went camping this week," blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But you bring up ghosts to me and it's going to turn into a 3-hour conversation.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, is when people go out with me or whatever. And like, you rarely see me without a Haunted Soulz Paranormal shirt on.
Yeah.
Like everybody always like, "Dude, do you wear anything else?" I'm like, I promote my company. I'm like, I wear it everywhere. Yeah. I have a whole wardrobe full of black shirts. I mean,
yes,
all kinds of styles. But so like we'll go out and we'll be somewhere. And like I went to a flea market 2 weeks ago and I sat and started talking to this guy. He started asking me questions like, "So what's that on their shirt mean to you?" I was like, "This?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "My company?" Like, that's what it means to me. It's my company.
Yeah.
And I mean, we sit there and talk for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And the person I'm with is kind of like, like I'm like, sorry. I'm like, it happens all the time.
This is who I am. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I need to get a hold of one of those shirts.
We'll do it.
I'm gonna have to tell a guy how to get a hold of one of those.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll work it out.
Yeah,
awesome.
No, for sure.
Awesome.
Are you guys coming to Troy Taylor's thing?
I don't know. When is it?
The first of June 1st and 2nd.
June 1st and 2nd. I'll have to look at that and see. We hadn't planned on it, but can't say that we won't make it up there.
I know he still has tickets. He keeps posting.
Oh yeah.
It's getting soon. It's getting close. I'm like,
I think it's really funny though, is I just realized this in my head, how many times since you're like the talker and I'm usually the salesperson, like I usually do like the transactions and these like, paracons or whatever, and he'll talk to a person. I'll go about 10 transitions or transactions, and you're still talking to the same person about the
Oh,
same.
yeah.
I'm like,
We do.
I know what, and I
Yeah.
do that. I'm like, you talk. I'm like, I'll talk to people if they come up to me. I will, but I have social anxiety. It
Well,
gives
I mean,
me
and you guys know, everybody wants to tell you their story.
yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Everybody has a
Absolutely.
ghost story. You
Everyone,
know,
yeah.
well, this one time when I was a kid, or I'm like, okay,
Oh,
and I have to,
Yeah, here we
you know,
go.
you got to sit there and listen to their story, and you know, and and it's like, especially at Paracons, though, it's like,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I want to help this person. This person's looking at my merchandise. You know, I'm like, I don't want to be rude, but you know, I've been talking to you for 30 minutes. I need to, you know, I need to move over and stuff like that. But
well, you got to admit though, I showed you some pretty cool stuff on my phone whenever I.
Yeah, I mean, you guys weren't. I mean, it was. I'm not saying like you guys, but
No,
just
yeah.
in general, we get.
Yeah.
We go into
No,
like
believe
KC.
me, we could bug the fuck out of somebody. Let me tell you.
Hey, you guys came around a couple times. You were like, "Oh, we'll come back and talk again." And, you know, and that's
Well,
what's
yeah,
good
you
about
guys
it
would
for 2
talk
days
to
long.
us.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a good thing about being 2 days. You can come back and talk, and don't have to sit there the whole time. And,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
stuff like that.
I got a funny story about that show, though.
2 hours later.
So yeah, this will take me a couple hours here. So anyway, when Troy was up on stage and he was talking about all the different stuff, and you know, I don't know how much you know about him or how much you've talked to him, but Troy, like, absolutely is against any kind of orb footage. He doesn't like orbs. He doesn't believe in them. And he was up on stage and he was talking about how all these people, he said, the one thing that drives me crazy is when people walk up to me and want to show me pictures of orbs and ask me what I think of them. So he gets off stage and he goes walking over to his booth, and here I am. I go walking up to him. I got my phone out and I'm flipping through, and I'm like, Troy, hey man, come here. You got to see this. And I can see the look on his face. He's looking at me like, what the fuck? You know, come on, dude. And I flipped my phone around, and it was a picture of me and Troy Taylor from like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He looked at that picture and he was like, holy shit, dude, where'd you get that? It was hilarious. He thought I was going to bug the shit out of him about an orb or something.
Yeah, that's
He's
funny.
probably like,
He was like, oh my God, I actually had hair.
he's probably like, did this man just not come out of my
Yeah,
class?
he's probably thinking, God damn.
That's funny because I had met Troy a few times at different paranormal events and stuff. And that particular picture, and he remembered it too. As soon as he saw the picture, he had done, it was right around, it was during October. He had done a special live event at the St. Louis library. And he was in there telling ghost stories and talking about different stuff. And I happened to go for that. It was just funny.
Oh man.
I thought for sure I was going to show him an orb.
He's like, God dang it.
That was just the whole incident too. Like, we went over, and Lauren's in the chat here, and we went over to see his opening of his new museum, because he bought it from Dave, and he opened up the new oddities thing and everything. And I was trying to tell him that I wanted to move spots this year in this Paracon. I was trying to say that I wanted to be against the wall, and I kept saying the other side of the wall when I meant the other side of the aisle against the wall. And I kept saying the other side of the wall, and he kept looking at me like, are you retarded? He's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, the other side of the wall, And he's like, the other side of the wall is outside. He goes, is that what you want to be? And I was like, no, I meant the other side of the aisle against that wall. He's like, oh, that sounds so much better now. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, someone kill me. I was like, what was I trying to say?
Poor Lauren had to witness that.
Yeah, it was like, well, he knows me now. Well, he knew me before, and I never knew that.
Right.
I came in. He's like, oh, I figured you guys would be here. I'm like, I've never really sat and talked to you, man. How do you know who I am?
Dude. Yeah, it's funny, man. Troy is pretty cool when you can get him away from people and actually sit and talk to him. I mean, he will talk your ear off.
Oh yeah.
But when he's doing one of those events, he is so stressed out that it's hard to get him to stop long enough to talk to you, you know?
Oh yeah.
I think when we were there, he came and signed our banner.
Yeah.
And was like, and kind of walked away. That was the first time I actually really like met him, like talked to him.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, Lauren and Gina are in here, they're fanboys of Troy Taylor, but I'm not. My friend Doug, who started with me with this company, he was a fanboy and was like, "Oh, Troy this," and we were happening to be at Mineral Springs one night doing a event, and Troy was there, and he ran in there and got his autograph and his book, and
welcome to my life.
Well, dude, I'm not really a fanboy, but I will say I have a half or maybe a dozen or maybe, I don't know, 30 or 40 of his books.
Lauren and Gina read his books, and they say they're really good. So
they are.
I'm not a reader.
You have to be in the right frame of mind to read his stuff. He writes in a specific fashion, and it's funny. I've read enough of his stuff to where if I just picked up a book randomly and started reading it about a page or two in, I'd be like, "This has got to be Troy Taylor," because he's so specific on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a reader. I read 2 pages and the book hits me in the face. I mean,
right. And I'm kind of the same way, unless it's something I'm extremely interested in.
Yeah.
Like paranormal and stuff. So that's why Troy's books kind of,
I just need to have someone pay to read the book and then tell me about it.
Right.
Called audiobook.
Hey, call Troy and say, "Hey, will you read this to me in my sleep?
Give me a bedtime story, Troy.
Tell me a bedtime story."
I'm going to ask him this way because how much is it going to cost for you to come and read me a chapter?
$5 a page.
I just need a bedtime story.
I just get to go on a road trip with Lauren and Gina. They could tell me all about it. I think they read all the. Is they on there about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they read almost all his books. So
yeah, I definitely am not a reader.
Yeah,
I'm definitely.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a reader, man. I'm not a reader at all.
Hold on a second. Do you want to talk tonight, or are you going to just let me do that?
I just thought you were having a Troy Taylor moment, so I was going to let you get that out of your system.
Well, because now
you get it out of your
system. You started on Limp Mansion. And,
no, are you done?
Yeah, Ryan says I'm done. I can't talk about Limp Mansion.
Well, we can talk about Limp Mansion sometime. I'm just
we can talk about
it. I need to let Ryan talk before I get into that 6-hour conversation.
Yeah, here's a problem, guys. He starts talking, and then I gotta let him ramble.
Here, I'll make it short and sweet. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. Mm-hmm. I've been fascinated with the Limp Mansion ever since I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. I have read numerous books about it. I've been there several times. I've even had a really crazy experience inside the house in the middle of the night, in the attic where I wasn't supposed to be. But I love that place. I love everything about it, the story behind it, just everything. I'm fascinated with it.
It amazes me that a family like that have committed suicide that much in that house.
Well, and you know that they when they die, sometimes in their suicide notes, they would put, "Do not burn all of my records."
Right.
That's what they asked. They asked to bury records of the family when they die and where they would commit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So here's a little short story. We went to my wife and I went to some big swap meet or something, and we were actually working security down there for the company she worked for. But anyway, I'm standing there, and I'm a door guy. I'm standing at the door, and I look over, and this guy has got on his table a bunch of old beer boxes and shit. And I'm sitting there looking at him. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, Budweiser." I'm not a beer drinker. I don't like beer, but anyway, I'm looking at him. I'm like, "Man, that's all really cool, Budweiser." And I think he had some, Schlitz malt liquor, different ones. And then all of a sudden, I see one that's Falstaff, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, what the hell?" And I go walking over there, and I tell the guy, I'm like, "Hey, can you tell me anything about this box?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's a old beer box from Falstaff Brewing Company, and it had a sticker on it of I think he wanted $175 for it or something like that." I'm like, "Wow, man, that's a lot of money." He said, "I tell you what," he goes, "I'll cut you a deal on it if you want it." And I'm like, he could tell I was interested in it because I kind of walked away, and then I walked back over and was looking at it. He walked up and said, "Look, if you really want this, I'll cut you a deal on it. I'll sell it to you for $125." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "All right, hold on. Let me talk to my wife, and make sure she's cool with it." And so, and she was fine with it. She was like, "Yeah, if you want it, go get it." Because I had to explain to her why I wanted it. And so I walked back over to the guy, and I'm like, all right, I'll take it. And he said, all right. He goes, 125. He said, but he said, I'm going to tell you, he said, when you're carrying this away, there's a guy in here, and he pointed the guy out to me. He said, do not tell that guy how much you paid for this thing, because he come over and asked me about it, and I shot him a price of 175 on it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So anyway, I'm standing there talking to the guy, and he's pulling out all kinds of old stuff and showing it to me, and, you know, different stuff that was crazy, you know, that so I'm like, I start talking to him, and I'm like, okay, well, do you know anything about Falstaff Brewing Company? And he was like, well, yeah, I mean, they're a brewing company in St. Louis. And I said, yeah, Falstaff actually bought out the Limp Brewing Company. And he was like, really? And I started telling him the story about the Limp Mansion and the Limp Brewing Dynasty, and, you know, just kind of shortly, you know, quickly telling him the story as he's taking my money. And I start telling him, I'm like, so this beer box, it's so weathered and worn, like you can tell it was down in the caverns for a while. And I start talking to the guy and telling him the story about this, and he's looking at me like, motherfucker. If I'd have known, this old guy, if he'd have known anything about that, he could have asked $500 for that beer box, and somebody would have gave it to him.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, I've got this beer box sitting in my studio here, and like I said, I'm not a beer drinker, and it does say Falstaff on it, but it's still got the Limp insignia leaf on it, and that's the whole reason why I wanted it.
Yeah.
They're still brewing beer too, Falstaff is.
Yeah.
Over in Illinois. It's the only beer that has sugar free.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's diabetics can drink that beer. Yep.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Us old fat dudes can drink that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right.
No.
Did you get that out of your
That's enough
system?
about my hour-long beer box story.
You know what's funny is I think we heard that was at the
Yeah,
Paracon
you
last
probably
year
did.
Did I tell you that same story? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, Noah, our people.
Hey,
can
now
hear
all
the
your
story.
people know.
Our people know the story. I'm not here for me. You're
now
here
your
to talk
people
to
know
them,
how
not
much
me.
of an idiot I am that
I've
I spent
heard-
$125 on a beer box.
I've heard that story so much, I think it's my story now.
Yeah, it probably is. It's got Ryan's face on the box.
Yeah. It's right above Limp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's limp, all right.
Just
It's limp, all right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Ryan, what is? I'll give you your shot here. What got you into the paranormal and the horror?
Awesome. Let me
Okay,
tell you,
here,
let me
wait a
tell
minute,
you-
I got this.
Let me tell
No.
you about this box. What's in the box?
Just one time at band camp, we had this box.
No, so honestly, I've been into the paranormal and all that stuff since I was really little. So when I was like 7, we lived in
A couple weeks ago.
We lived in Winfield up there by Troy.
Yes.
And I grew up when I was younger, I grew up there. And then so we owned like 5 acres out there, and you guys probably know this is why like you had the Winfield Warriors and then stuff like that. There's a lot of Native American stuff up there. So we lived on this 5 acres of land or whatever, and we had ghosts that were on our property and stuff. I remember, so we lived in a trailer, and for those of you who lived in a trailer, you know what I'm talking about. The bathrooms always had those really skinny rectangle windows. They're like this big. So I remember, it looked over our garden area and stuff like that we had. And so there was actually a ghost of an old man that was in that garden, just in the same area. Like it's like meant to be that we had our garden in that area. That was just, I'm guessing, luck of the draw or whatever. But his spirit, the ghost, would be out there, and he would be like, pardon my French, he'd be hoeing out there, out there hoeing the ground there. And he would always do the same. You'd see the same thing every night. And then
It reminds me of Beavis and Butthead. What is that?
I didn't interrupt your box story. I didn't interrupt your story about a damn box.
Sorry.
Where's the mute? Put the mute button on.
Okay, here you go.
There, perfect, awesome. Now he's muted.
He's just gonna slowly roll over to him and go.
But no, so we would see that spirit out there, and it would be this doing this. So it's basically like a residual haunting.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also a little girl spirit that was like in the yard area, and she would be like sitting down in a dress and stuff, you know, and it would look like she was like picking flowers or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that distinctively, seeing that stuff, and then my parents talking about it and whatnot. And so my mom would get up every morning and go to work like 4:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So she would make me get up and walk her to the car because she was scared of that stuff. And I was only like 7 years old, you know, but I did what I had to do. So I got into it very young like that. And then I actually had my own paranormal team in my early 20s. I say a team, but honestly, it's just a group of people who got together and we would go ghost hunt and stuff like that. And I've gotten some really cool, you know, evidence and some stuff that I didn't think I'd catch. And then as I got more into it and learned more how to do things, you know, and then of course started watching ghost hunters and stuff like that. It really got me into that. You know, now I have people contact me, and just like I showed you guys, some of the stuff I have. I mean, I got some freaking ridiculous evidence on my phone that, like, I mean, it's some grade A shit, and I'm just like, it's cool that people come to me now for that kind of things, you know. And also, it shows me that a lot more people are into it than you think, you know.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And we talk about it quite often, how, you know, paranormal stuff is it's a very personal thing. So when people are like, oh, there's no evidence, it's like, there is evidence. It's just, it's a personal thing to where, you know, personal experiences, and it's not true until it happens to you, you know.
Yeah.
And then you realize how very real it is, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I'm big into, you know, I've always been into horror movies and stuff like that as well, like with the good and evil thing. And I'm big about the battle between, you know, good and evil, dark and light, stuff like that. You know, I've always been into that kind of stuff. And so it's just a really cool to see how many people out there over time that I've talked to, they're like, oh, I don't know. Then now they get a hold of me and like, hey, this happened. What's going on? And I have people call me all the time and they're like, how do I do this? How do I do that? So, and now like, so I got ordained or whatever, but that was because I was on a search and rescue team. So we got ordained so that if case we ran across somebody who was like wanting to get their last rites or whatever, or something like that, that we could, you know, it would just be more. The guy I worked for that I was doing private security for, and then on the CERT team as well, like he was like, let's do this. So I was like, all right. So now like people are like, can you bless my house? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, I just need to start selling holy water.
There you go.
There you go.
He needs your exorcism kit.
Yeah, I mean, I got gallons of holy water. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? So, but
just take a gallon of it to the church. They'll bless it.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I'm telling you. And then now, honestly, it's so I've come full circle with a lot of things, you know, like I used to be really religious back in the day when I was younger, like, and then I kind of went away from that. I'm more like onto my pagan side of things. Cause like I'm like 45% Irish, Scottish, you know, I got the DNA thing done or whatever, but I just always been attracted to, you know, the Celts and just the old, you know, the history there. And so now it makes more sense to me, and I've kind of gotten more into my like Mother Nature and like just all that kind of things. And I'm more of a dimensional guy, you know. Like I believe in the, you know, there's dimensions, and this is just one plane of existence. And then once you go, how you act here is whether you level up or level down, you know what I mean? You know, and then that gets into the whole question of like spirits, like what are they, you know? And you know, when you die, why do some people get stuck, you know, things like that. We actually had this conversation, and it'd be good to hear you guys' outlook on this.
We did this for our last episode, which we haven't posted yet, but we talked about, you know, life after death and what we think it is, you know, how we feel about it and different things. So
like, so we were talking about how, you know, a lot of hauntings are more severe whenever it was something that was like a tragic or a quick death or an unexpected death, you know. And maybe since that was so tragic and it happened so quickly or violently, that energy is still there because it was that much more built up energy that, you know, and then was that death breaking a timeline? You know, was that where you're not supposed to die, but you did? Because you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's weird because you always see like instances where someone's like, oh, I almost got like, they're like, oh yeah, I ran into a serial killer and, you know, I almost got killed by them, but just one little move made it different, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a really cool conversation. And then, you know, I don't know what your guys' outlook on the afterlife or what is or isn't there, you know, or where you go from here, you know?
We sat and talked. We've talked about
Oh,
it numerous times, and it's like, you know, and that brings us this whole. We had this conversation about, you know, people are like, "Well, I'm a professional, a professional paranormal." Well, what makes you professional? What makes you, you know? There's no standard or there's nothing that we can see that makes you a professional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody that's a professional, even as much as Zach Baggins wants to say he is. You know,
Zach Bagels.
but, you know,
Yeah, let's not get into that guy.
yeah, you know, there's no professional. There's no, because like you said, you've been doing it for 5 years. This podcast, we've been doing an investigation for 5 years,
Yeah.
and I learn things from more every time I go. I learn new things.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's never, you know, once you become a professional, I think that you always, you know almost everything about things. You don't ever learn anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like we all learn every time we go out. And anybody, I tell everybody, if anybody says that they're a professional and they know it all, they're not. There's not, you know, and everything.
They're a professional bullshit artist.
Right. Because
all about what you interpret.
Right.
You know what I'm
yeah,
trying to say.
interpretation.
Yeah.
Well, like just saying, what is life after death? No one knows. No one has sat down with anybody and got a clear conversation with a ghost. You know,
100%.
like and like your thing, is it that traumatic thing? Or are we on timelines in multi-universes that the veil is thin enough at that moment in time that we're walking through an abandoned, you know, hospital, and our timeline it's abandoned, but it could be in a different timeline. It's an active hospital.
Yeah.
And at that moment in time, we see that thin veil and we see a ghost. They think we're a ghost. We think they're a ghost, but it's a timeline.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
What happens if this is all a dream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Whatever we all, what if we are all dead and we're just living a dream? That's, you know, it's just so much to think of. That conversation, I mean, I wish I would have known. That conversation can be, I mean, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, right. Like, what can it be, you know?
And then I've told people too, like my perspective on definitely like when I started like really getting into paranormal is like, my thought was like always maybe their soul or whatever their energy is stuck. Maybe if it, you know, even like when schools are haunted, you know, maybe they had the best time and that was their whole childhood. So when they pass on, that's when they want to go back to, you know, maybe that's the, you know, maybe that their soul, you know, or you see like they talk about in homes, you know, the wife is always pacing or the wife is still there. I'm like, maybe that's because her home, she's trying to look for something, you know?
Right.
And there's so many theories out there that it's just, there has to be more than one.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. It's the point where, and that's my big thing too, like what you're saying is do you get to make that choice? When you die, or is it a split decision choice whether you have to go here, there, or stay? You know what I'm saying? What, you know, or do you think that does a spirit have, like, say, like a man's wife passes away 2 years before him, and does he think that he needs to go look for her? So, you know, she's staying here waiting on him, and he goes thinking that she went up. Now they're never connected because he's here, you know, looking for her, and, you know, or she's looking for him because he moved on thinking she was up there. You know, do we have a choice? Do you have another choice? I mean, do you have to put so much time in and then you get another choice to do it?
Yes. I was actually listening to a podcast and they were talking about how he was talking about how like you relive your life until you get it right. So it's like a loop.
Man,
you know what I mean?
That's going to be a long time for me, man.
Yeah.
Well, and that's all. And I don't necessarily, for me, I don't agree with that because I think that have you guys like looked into like the Akashic records and things like that?
No, I haven't.
No.
You guys should check that out. It's really cool. It's something that you guys probably would really
Yeah.
Yeah.
get a
Yeah,
good
you'll
get a
really-
good episode out of, and actually something that you guys would probably want to dig into. But like the Akashic Records is basically it's a place you can get to through, like they say, meditation and things like that.
Mhm.
But basically it's like, it's your hall of the lives that you've lived,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, it's
I don't-
basically like your hall of records, like a
Right.
library of your life.
But all of these lives, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you guys ever watched Supernatural, but they actually had that in there. They
I
had
know
it
what
in-
you're talking about now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm a firm believer, just because of things that have happened personally to me, that I think that, you, with the Akasha Records, it goes that you always find your tribe of people. You know what I mean? So it's like whenever you ever met someone just like off the bat and you're like, man, I feel like I've known you forever, like my whole life. And you guys just
Yeah.
click.
Mhm.
That's your tribe. That's your people that you've met through all your lives. At least their souls. That energy is what you've, and that's why, you meet someone and
You're
you're like,
drawn
man,
to each other.
right. And like, I say it personally for me, cause like, it's how me and my wife are. Like
Yeah.
literally we've been together. I'm only 38 years old. We've been together 23 years. And ever since the day one that I've met her, back before we got together, when we were like 12 years old, it was an instant, like, I mean,
Yeah.
there. And we're still the same way now. And I try to tell people that, like, how can you be with somebody nowadays? People are like, oh man, 23 years, you're only 38. What the? It's like, man, when it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like when you meet these people throughout your lives, I honestly believe that. I believe that like you find your people, and
Oh,
what's
yeah.
cool about it, kind of talking about with what we were talking about earlier, with this genre that we're in and the people that we meet, a lot of the time you run into some people that you're like, just because they're into the same thing, that you're like, wow, you end up running to your tribe of people through there.
Yeah.
Right.
And because I'm a big empath, and I was at the the conference, and I was actually, because my wife does tarot and stuff like that, I was buying her some new tarot cards and stuff, and I was looking for like some crystals and stuff like that for but like the lady's like, so the lady that was selling to me, she's like, so how do you feel being in here? Because I'm like, I don't like being around a bunch of people, I don't like being in a group of people. Like I don't go to bars. I feel energy's really bad. Like I get out of here, too much. But I'm like, in that instance there, I was completely fine, because everyone's like energies were the same,
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's the way I look at it. I think with the Akasha Record, you guys should check that out. It's really cool and something you could deep dive in, and
Yeah.
Researcher.
I know. I am. I'm the one that's like, hey.
You're going to run yourself down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. I always do that.
So
Yeah.
a funny thing, I have to admit though, the funny thing is what really intrigued me about you guys when we met, I was going to bring it up, is we always joke about when we go into different towns. We don't play Slug Bug no more. What do we play?
We played
Dollar General.
Yeah.
Because every town's got a Dollar General. And when I met these two, they had you guys do. Is it in your town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
You guys have a ghost in your Dollar General.
Oh my God.
we do.
And
We do.
it's funny you say that, and you're laughing, but you have seen the actual evidence I have, and you're like,
Right.
holy shit.
Yeah. They actually got a ghost in their Dollar General.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
my
that's
it-
what was so funny. I was like, really? Their Dollar General's haunted? I'm like,
Now
That's
every time we go
great.
into town, we're like, could that be haunted?
yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's
don't
crazy.
play
Yeah,
Slug
it's
Bug
weird.
no
It
more.
makes you wonder how something like that could happen.
Yeah, well, it just depends on what the building was, where it
it's
was.
the
or
land.
It's a
whatever.
Dollar Tree ghost.
Dollar
Hey,
Tree ghost,
maybe
yeah.
the ghost worked there for so long, and he's like, just the same thing on repeat over and over again.
It's honestly, it's the land.
Good possibility.
It's the land. that it was
Probably,
built on.
yeah.
Well, because there's been some stuff that's happened, on the property and even near the property. There's been people that have committed suicide and stuff like that. And these are people who seemed ordinary and, family men, stuff like that.
Yep.
And then one day they come home and the family comes home and he's shot himself,
Yep.
You just never know. And, that's something that I also like to get into too, is like, talking about beings and, I don't get too religious with it anymore, but like demons or whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
You know, I call them low frequency beings, you know, that kind of want to, they affect your life negatively, you know? And for me, I believe those come from like a lower dimension. You know what I mean? There's upper and there's lower dimensions, I believe, you know, and I think that those come from there and they can affect you, you know? So then it goes into, okay, well, what are those? You know, like where do those come from? They've never been human, but what are they and where they come from? So that's where the other dimensions come from,
And
you know?
yeah. And that's another thing is people are like, oh, so like are all like I've recently I've gotten the question of, okay, besides the human spirits, what else is there? And I'm like, you know what? That is crazy, and you can go down a rabbit hole of just that.
Well, you got your elementals. You got your elementals, which are your earth, wind, fire, water spirits and stuff like that. You have, you know, and I believe that there are other things that don't have to be human.
100%.
You know, 100%. that live, that crawl. I mean, I'm supernatural. Once again, you know, have you watched that show now as being a paranormal investigator? They cover a lot of stuff that we do deal with. It's you know, it's like, okay, that could possibly be, you know. So, you know, I believe there's other things that come from
spiritual beings of the whole skinwalker thing. That's spiritual.
Well, that's skinwalker thing is a total different.
That's spiritual.
Native American.
Crazy. Do you want to read some comments in there real quick?
Yeah, I can.
So you don't get too far behind there.
Yeah, what's going on over here in the chat?
Yeah.
Let's see.
You got one job, man.
I know they were going at. Lauren said I was at the conference too. Probably talked to y'all, but there's
a good possibility.
I've slept since.
Yeah,
then,
probably. We talked to everybody.
Yeah.
Gina said, "Can confirm. Dan talks to people like humans. It's what got us talking to him too. This community is amazing." Yeah,
we met Lauren and Gina. They're on Which Is Familiar.
Yeah,
we met them at the same Paracon. So
yeah. Gina said it's late June, like the 23rd or something.
Okay,
for the conference.
Cool.
Oh yeah, June 1st and 2nd. I'm sorry, I told you June 1st and 2nd. That's Strawberry Festival in Kinswood.
We got so many festivals.
I got so much shit coming up.
There's like a whole list.
Yeah, it's like the 22nd, 23rd.
Lauren said he's never gonna forget you now. He was so confused talking about Troy Taylor's
about the door, the whole
wall.
Side of the wall.
Haunting Angels TM says hi.
Hello.
Gina said fangirls, thank you. You called them fanboys.
I call them fanboys, sorry.
Hey, just so you know, that conference is June 20th through the 23rd.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Lauren said, have you listened to his podcast? That's basically what it is. Oh, talking about
Troy Taylor's podcast, the American Hauntings podcast.
Yeah, about the whole reading the audiobooks.
Not quite though. I mean, because he's, you know, his books are very in depth.
Yeah. Gina said, I read them in his voice. Oh, well, he was such a unique way with his words.
I love that.
Karen, the redhead, says, hey.
Hello.
Gina said the conference was calming. Everyone was so nice, and they're the same reason it was wild. Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
We met some really cool people there.
Yeah.
Including you guys.
Yeah. Carrie said, hi, guys. Hello.
What's up, Carrie?
Hello. And then Astral Light Paranormal says, hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah.
So, the main question that we ask all of our guests.
Well, our favorite question.
It's a favorite question. I know everybody. I was surprised that Chad hasn't asked it yet either. So, what is your guys' bucket list of places that you would love? No cost. The flight, everything is free. Someone said, hey, you got one chance to go and investigate this place in the United States and one place outside the United States.
Oh. For me, the first one would be Greyfriars Crickyard over in Scotland. And God, in the US, man, that's a tough one.
It's always the in the United States ones that's tough.
Right.
You know, there's several places I'd like to
yeah.
see, but man, what's the number one?
Well, you got to think about it. Something that you probably never would be able to afford or be have the time. But if that, something like Waverly Hills, because we've never been there.
Right.
Mhm.
Trans-Allegheny.
You guys can afford it.
Yeah, Trans-Allegheny would be a good one.
Trans-Allegheny, yes, definitely.
Would be a good one.
Trans-Allegheny.
I honestly, I would love, and I was fairly close to it at one point, but didn't get to go. I'd like to see the Lizzie Borden house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was kind of cool. My wife one year surprised me. It was a couple of years after we got married. Our anniversary is in October, and she surprised me with an anniversary trip. We went to Salem, Massachusetts.
Ooh.
Nice.
And
in October?
In October.
Whew,
and
that's crowded.
Yes, it was. And that was one of my bucket list things, because of the Salem witch trials and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I knew quite a bit about it before I even went up there, but still just being there was a really cool feeling.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. People say in October that place is just packed.
It is. It's nuts. It's nuts. Now, we were there like the first week of October, so it wasn't stupid busy, but it was still pretty packed.
Yeah.
So
we actually stayed in a little town just a little north called Danvers. Sorry.
He's got a weapon now. He's like, he just jabs him in the leg every single time.
Hey, Rod, you need a cattle prod. Just be like,
yeah, I need to get one of those freaking dog collars on him and zap it.
If he only knew. I'm into that kind of
He's got
shit.
one on. I just can't see it.
He's like, don't threaten me with a good time.
But no, so honestly, for me, in the United States, it would be Skinwalker Ranch.
That would be good.
Because
that's the first time we've had that one.
Well, you got to think about it. For Skinwalker Ranch, you have everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have ghosts, you have UFOs, you have skinwalkers, you have cryptids. I mean, there's everything there.
Cattle mutilation.
I mean, everything is
Everything.
there. So that would be, if I had full access, no money, I have to worry about none of that stuff, and whatever time, 100%. Because there's just so much goes on there.
Yeah.
I feel like that place in that area in general would just be killer, to get some evidence and just experience yourself, and then out of the United States, honestly, it's anything in Ireland and Scotland, just because I love that, it's always spoke to me.
Yeah. And
B, it's so old. I mean, they have buildings there that are 5,000 plus years old, still standing.
Oh, yeah.
There's, I can't remember the name of it. I'm just drawing a blank for some reason. I'm an idiot, but there's an underground burial.
The catacombs.
Yeah. But there's during a certain time of the year, the sunlight comes in the door, the only entrance in, and it hits and it lights up the entire inside off the reflections.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the name. I feel like an idiot now. But anyways, that kind of stuff, Yeah. And then if a close second would be Egypt, the pyramids, things like that.
And they've said some first. We need to start when we get there. We need to get like a whiteboard or something and start putting everybody's and stuff, because you guys have got all four of things that no one's ever really said.
Yeah.
Awesome. Heck yeah, we did something right.
Yeah.
Most of the time, mine is Alcatraz.
Yeah.
And everything, and most of the time, some is that, and then most of the time, overseas is the catacombs or Dracula's castle, things like that. Mine is Auschwitz. I would love to go to Germany.
Oh
I
man,
think that would be a great.
There's
place.
Energy there for sure.
Oh yeah, that would be such a great place.
That's a whole nother type of invest.
Yeah, that's a different
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And stuff like that. But we should have like that. That'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Just start telling everybody they're done.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like honestly, when you think about, like in the U.S., you can almost afford to go places.
Yeah.
And investigate them, the big ones, But like Skinwalker Ranch, not everyone gets access to that.
Right.
No, that's something,
And then they're very particular on who's coming in and who's not, because that's very still indigenous like ground, and people still are,
I looked into Alcatraz to see how much it would cost to investigate, and just right off the bat, it was $20,000.
Oh my God.
when we win the lottery.
Yeah, they rent it to you as a film crew. That's the cheapest price they have.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the going rate for a film crew to come in and do
Yeah.
a documentary or
Right.
anything. And then you have to have your own chartered boat, and you have to have a chartered helicopter on standby.
Or you just call the Diaz brothers. I don't know if you know UFC, Nick and Nate Diaz. They actually swam.
Oh, there. Well, they can pull a boat. Sure, why not?
They've done it. Well, they've done it like 7 or 8 times.
Oh my god!
And what's crazy about that is as you guys know, the water there is like filled with sharks and just the temperature, all that stuff. But these guys are just gangsters, man, and they swim it for freaking their cardio and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
You know what? I will pay whatever we need to get a boat. I'm not swimming.
Right.
I don't deal with open water.
To bring over. I'm not swimming.
I love the ocean, but I like staying on land.
Right. But yeah, I mean, honestly, and I say this a lot too. When people talk about, America's not that old, it can't be haunted. It's like, well, the country's not that old, but the land's been here forever.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not necessarily the buildings, it's the land,
Oh,
Yeah. That's all the Indians and stuff before the Indians. Yeah. They were all here before us.
Oh,
and you got to think about the violence that it's seen, like just the brutality of, what has happened over time. That energy is there, and it's
I wouldn't saw that new Civil War movie.
Yes.
And it's a pretty good movie. I mean, if we came into a civil war and stuff about the United States splitting up. But they had a preview of who does Yellowstone? I can't think of his name now. I just truly drew a blank when I was thinking.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. What is his name? I just watched an interview with him on freaking Joe Rogan's podcast.
I don't watch Yellowstone, so I can't help you out
with
that
That's the guy
one.
that does Yellowstone. I can't think of his name.
Can't help you either.
You talking about the guy who directs it?
No, the guy that stars in it is
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, Kevin Costner has a film called Horizon. It's coming in 2 parts. It's a 2-part movie, and it's about the Indians and going out west, and it's a Western movie, and it just looks like so much violence in that movie.
Oh, 100%.
Just so much. Like, everybody's shooting everybody. I'm like, there was just, if you figured, and mine's a big, I love Western. I love that whole time era and stuff. And when people are going out west to find, there was no law in certain of those places.
No.
It was, people would just come up on your porch, or if you started a house or whatever, you defended your own property.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you got to think, I mean, dude, think about this. I remember when I was in school, I did a report on the Aztecs. Dude, talk about brutal. Like they literally their sacrificing table was like a point, right? Like a little pyramid, and they would set you on your back on top of it, and they'd rip your heart out, and they just kick your body down the steps.
Yeah,
the hundreds of steps that go down.
That's
like,
crazy.
You got to think about how much. There's
so much brutality,
so much energy there that it's crazy, and
it don't go nowhere. It's just wandering around the land. So
right.
That's the big thing of like when
that's
people
just
say
what we know of.
Right, and that's what we know of, but just in history. You don't know what people before the history started writing, and knew everything like that. And that's what people brings into the whole thing of when I was going to talk to you, we were asking about spirits and stuff. When people are like, well, how's a school haunted? Because most people don't realize a lot of energy, bad and good, is what brings spirits and attracts spirits. And I'm like, it don't necessarily mean that someone has to die at a place for it to have to be haunted.
Right.
And people just think like haunting and spirits, they
have to die.
They think they die. The first thing they think of is people dying.
Yeah.
And we were at a casino in Kansas City doing a metaphysical fair, and I had equipment going off because I was speaking, and I had some stuff up and was just showing people. And they're like, well, why is that going off? Why is this haunted? And I'm like, well, first of all, a casino has such high and low energy. I mean, 1 minute you're winning, and the next minute you lost your house.
Right.
Or your paycheck. Yeah. And then we're also there with a conference full of psychics and readers. So God knows calling everybody's family members. So God knows what's walking around,
Yeah. Well, and the EMF in that place has got to be ridiculous.
And so, just all that. And I'm like, there's pictures of like here at St. Louis, the Fox Theater. There's a lady that they have a picture that sits in the same seat every night, or they have pictures of her, and she necessarily didn't die there, but maybe that was the most fun thing that she enjoyed in life. So that's where she goes. So it's hard.
Have you guys done the ghost tour at the Fox?
I did a couple years ago.
I have not.
Actually, she works at Limp.
Yeah.
So when I was talking at the beginning with Mark from seeaghost.com, he has the keys to the Fox Theater. He has the keys to the Fox, the Stiefel Theater, and stuff like that. So he does that whole part of he does the tours and stuff. So
okay.
We're working with him.
Yeah.
We're working with him to maybe hopefully do something with them with those.
That would be cool. I've been wanting to do that ghost tour at the Fox for a long time and haven't had a chance to do it.
I never knew about it until you went, and I was like, the Fox is haunted?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's so hard with them, though, is because and getting in there, he said that because when they have contracts with Broadway shows, that they don't let anybody in there because they're props and everything that's set up and everything like that. So it's really hard for them to get into that time. And like the last couple of years, it's really not worked out in October for them.
And the reason is because now since COVID, they've finally in the last couple of years they've opened up Broadway again. So now all the Broadway shows are
coming around.
Yeah,
they're so booked. So I don't know if they're doing it this year or not. But I know he said that he's like, well, if I get it, you guys can come work it. I'm like, cool. I'm like, it was kind of cool tour. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of spirits there that they have proof, and they kind of just show you all the ghosts and some of the evidence they have,
right,
videos and stuff of like there's a ghost in the bathroom. There's a gentleman that hangs out in the bathroom and stuff. I'm like, I don't know, that's my private time, man.
Dude, stop watching me pee.
It's a very vulnerable
it's like stranger
place.
danger there, buddy. What are you looking at? But I think they think it's like a guy that used to worked in the bathroom, so it's a residual that was his job, and so he kind of just hangs out there. So
I'm kind of awkward. I'm that guy that likes to talk to people in the bathroom. Be standing
I would
there
not talk to you in the bathroom. I'd just
be standing there peeing and being like, "Hey, what are you doing over there?"
Yeah.
Well, it really makes it awkward with him doing it because he's right on your back, whispering in your ear as he's talking to you.
He's not even standing next to you; he's right behind you.
Yeah, that's what's weird.
You can feel my hot breath on the back of your neck.
What's going on down there, buddy?
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
You need some help with that?
Make a little room.
Scoot your sweet.
You're like, what's up, brother? What do you got going on down there, brother?
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Special tea, special wine, special what?
Oh, now we went evil.
Yeah, there we go. But it's kind of cool. The whole Fox thing was pretty cool. But that's the whole thing of bringing back that. Where do we go? How do we where do we go after we pass away and stuff like that? So,
dude, I'm telling you. So like we've had this conversation a bunch, but my youngest son, he's very like, I 1,000% know he's lived many lives.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 7, but ever since as soon as he was able to speak, which was very young, like he's just. If you've ever met him, you would understand. Even his teachers now, they're like, he's just it's like, I got to remember that I'm talking to a child, not an adult, because he's there.
Yeah.
But he always makes comments all the time about things. Like the other day we were talking and he's like, we were just talking about regular stuff. Like he was showing me a YouTube video and then like we were talking about this. He's like, Dad, I've lived 1,000 more lives than you. I'm like, huh? He's like, yep. And I believe him.
Yeah.
He is just so in tune with people and just it's crazy. It's crazy. And he's super smart. I mean, he absorbs everything and it just blows my mind. So I highly believe that stuff. And some of the stuff he says, man, I'm just like, he used to tell us when he was really young, when he was like 3 or 4, he would be like, Dad, you're my favorite dad. I'm like, I'm your only dad. He's like, no, you're not my only dad, but you're my favorite. And then he'd be like, I miss my sister. And my other son would be like, we don't have a sister. He's like, you don't have a sister, but I had a sister. And stuff like that.
Wow.
Like since day one, man, he would just, it's so awesome. And, it just goes to prove, that like, there is something. And like I said, it's the personal things that happen to you. You're gonna.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Every paranormal event is personal.
Yeah.
You're talking about doing tours and stuff. Have you done the Alton walking tour?
No, I haven't done none of
No.
those.
That if you ever get a chance, you should go over and do it. Whenever I went and did it, Luke Naliborski was running it. Troy Taylor, of course, started that, and Troy and Luke opened the Troy opened the bookstore, but then Luke worked there with him.
Mhm.
And Luke has wrote some decent books too. I like his stuff too. But that is a very cool little walking tour. You know, if you get a chance to take that, you should try it.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Make sure you take some walking shoes though. You're walking a lot.
Yeah, we've done a couple events at Mineral Springs, and Troy will have his, or they'll have their tour, and they'll be like, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're investigating overnight." And they're like, the guy will look at his wife and be like, "Why did we pick this one? This is the one we want to do, not this one."
Oh yeah.
They'll be like, "We want to investigate. We didn't want to." I'm like,
Right.
Here's my card. Come check me out.
Right. That's cool. That's
we
cool.
do, but yeah, I don't do too many of the tours.
We don't. I've recently we didn't get to go, but I went on a vacation in South Carolina, and it was my first time ever being like, okay, let me look at like the spooky tours or the ghost tours that they have. But we've never like going on vacation. We've never gone on ghost tours. We never.
Well, our vacation now is going to haunted places.
Yeah.
That's
that's our vacation now.
Yeah, it's like
So,
Well,
but
it's funny for me too. My wife will be like, "Oh, hey, what do you think about going to such and such place for vacation?" I'll be like, "All right, honey." I'll immediately start looking for haunted places. You know, and she's like, "No, we're not going there. We're not
I
going there."
guarantee you, the first time that we're gonna actually go on vacation, me and you'd be like, "So what kind of ghost stuff do they have there?"
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna check it out and be like, "Yeah." So you guys have never been to Waverly?
No.
Oh man, we need to get you guys hooked up with us and start doing things.
Yeah,
100%.
We'd love to do that, man. We'd love to.
We want to go back.
We are actually going as a group, and I didn't really think about it, but we're at 10 people right now though. But you said Trans-Allegheny in September, we leave to go on a 6-day. 5 day.
5 day.
Yeah, but we're going to like the Mothman in Virginia, West Virginia.
Point Pleasant,
Yeah.
nice.
Point Pleasant, and then we're going down to Lake Shawnee Amusement Park, the abandoned amusement park there, haunted amusement park, on Thursday. Trans-Allegheny on Friday, taking Saturday off, and doing Sweet Springs on Sunday.
Jeez.
Damn, dude, that sounds awesome.
There's like 10 of us all going down.
And then we come back, and then
we come back, and then
we
we
go
have,
to Missouri State Penitentiary.
We're holding our event at Missouri State Penitentiary.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys should come check that out.
Yeah, we should come up there for that,
When
man.
are
That'd
you
be
doing-
cool, dude.
When is that?
September 28th.
Okay.
That's my wife's birthday.
Shut up! That's mine.
The
Hell yeah.
21st?
You said the 28th.
Oh, no. The 21st. I'm sorry. September 21st.
Oh, okay.
September
21st.
28th is my birthday, though. That's why I
that's-
was like, that we're not doing it. We were gonna do it on my
Yeah, we were
birthday.
supposed to do it on the 28th.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be our 21st.
Yeah.
So it was
Okay,
going to be
cool.
a huge.
Yeah,
but we'll
that's my
be
wife's
doing.
birthday.
Yeah, hell yeah. Send us the info on that. I'd love to get
Yeah.
involved in that. I have never got to do that tour. I've been wanting to do it. And
From 9 o'clock till 5 in the morning, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be the perfect
Yeah.
time
And
to
we
do it.
And we get that the A block.
Yeah, the new A block.
Oh,
is
the
open
new
now.
that they
Okay.
opened up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because they fixed the roof. The tornado came through there and took the roof off.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was closed for the longest time. But yeah, it's back open now and stuff like
Well,
that.
and they got those the underground cells too. That
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, they had them, but they've never really told anybody about them. So I guess now they're telling, because everybody's like, "Have you seen these underground cells?" I'm like, "Yeah, they." So what they did was they were tearing a building down,
Mhm.
and they apparently just left the cells when they tore the building down, and just buried over top of them. Just
Right.
built it. So now
Mm.
they're unburying them, and you can see that they were technically they were underground, and
right.
stuff, because they were under the building and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So.
Wow.
And so they're kind of cool. You can go back and look. They're all the
They're
cells are very
tiny.
small. That
Right.
place was not made for pleasure.
No.
No, no.
Right. Well, the sex you want, you ain't getting. The sex you get, you don't want.
Yeah, they call it the 47 bloodiest acres
For a reason.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Oh man.
And that place is definitely.
And
It wasn't very inhumane. It was very inhumane.
Yeah. The sad thing is like you'll even like there's a part in the women's building, and I missed it like the first time we went there. The second time is when I saw it, and it is a cell with it's this small little opening.
It's probably about 4 feet wide.
And it just has a toilet in there, and it goes all the way up to the 4-story. It's tall.
Yeah, it's tall, but it's only like 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
It may be 6 feet deep.
Yep. And it's a cell.
And it's a
Holy
cell.
crap.
Just one toilet.
It's
No
just one
bed,
toilet,
no bed, nothing.
nothing.
It was like their woman's kind of
solitary
like,
confinement.
solitary
almost.
confinement.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was but I missed it the first time because it's so tiny.
Lucky.
And I was like,
Oh.
what?
Yeah, lucky. You get
Jeez.
a one-way ticket.
So that's September 21st, huh?
Yes. It's Saturday, yes.
I
Yeah.
might be interested in that.
I don't
Yeah.
take Trista up there for her birthday too. Freaking a little early.
Yeah, if you would send us some info on that. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's all
For
over
sure.
our website and all over
Okay.
Facebook too. So
okay.
I'm coming out with I'm making some new videos for it now.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting on CapCut and making new. Those are greatest things.
The
in
funny
world.
little
The funny
videos
little
that we do.
videos.
Yeah.
Oh
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah.
So going back to like the cryptic side, what kind of shifted your point of you said that your paranormal experience, what got you into the paranormal? What kind of got you into the cryptic side of everything?
Do you want me to go or you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go first.
What-
Go ahead.
Well, for
Never
me.
mind, stop right there.
Okay. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
All at
Hey,
once.
this is how our shows are all the time.
Yeah.
It's just two dumbasses arguing over who's going to talk.
Who's gonna talk first?
For me, it's funny. Cryptid stuff. I'll be honest with you. I have never really seen cryptid stuff.
Mhm.
I kind of got into it because of the paranormal.
Mhm.
Just different things. I lived in a house that had some activity going on. But I didn't really get into cryptids until I got older. And for me, it was, the fascination of, is that real? Is it not real?
Mhm.
Of course, that's with it with everybody. I think on the cryptid side of it, you guys are going to want to slap me, but I'm more pushing towards alien activity than most of the cryptid stuff,
And by alien
Yeah.
activity, he means probing.
Yeah, I'm really into probing. It's funny, Ryan and I talk about this all the time. I'm kind of a science guy. I like to look at everything scientifically.
Mhm.
I do believe in things, that science can't prove. Ryan is the exact opposite. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that's why it works so well for us, is because I look at stuff scientifically, but I also see his point of view too. So, cryptids for me were never a big thing. I was always more into ghosts and hauntings and stuff like that, and I've been fascinated with that kind of stuff since I was a little kid. Like I said, I grew up in a house that had some strange activity that nobody could explain, but
Yeah.
All right, your 5 minutes is up.
He's got a little time where he's gonna start
Him on the
spinning
other
around.
hand, him on the other hand, he plays with his cryptid every night.
Yes.
Hey, don't we all?
Oh, it's just a little guy. Anyways,
It's a wee little guy.
it's a wee little guy.
It's a little league with cryptid.
It's a wee little cryptid. No,
It's a leprechaun. a leprechaun.
Hey, that's part of the cryptic, is it not? Hey, leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Hey.
What's a
right.
cryptid?
So now for me, the whole cryptid thing, honestly, I grew up in, I was a young kid in the late 80s into the early 90s. But I would watch, like some of my favorite movies are, Silver Bullet, American Werewolf from London, these horror movies with werewolves and stuff like that. Werewolves is what really got me into the cryptid situation. I've always been big into
I don't want to have to hear you.
Anyways, I was always big into like the battle between good and evil. Like I was like, the Frog Brothers, from freaking,
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. I was always big into that. So, Silver Bullet really got me into the cryptid things. And then as I got older, I was still into that. And then I got into the actual aspect of looking into cryptids and what they are. And, like
Dogman and all that.
And well, what's funny about the Dogman situation thing is like one of our good buddies, D.A. Roberts, shout out to D.A. He's an author, writes some really good books. He's out of Springfield. Great dude. You should look into having him on. He's amazing. But anyways, I guess had a Dogman experience that I didn't even know I had when I was younger. Me and my buddies, we grew up, very small town. We were camping one night, and we were camping next to this graveyard. A bunch of like 9 of us were, it's being dumb kids, and we set up a little perimeter thing with strings and cans around our campground, and we had our fire set up. We actually built a stand up in a tree, and somebody had to be on guard, and so we were all doing our thing, whatever. One of our friends was up in the tree, and he had the, BB gun or whatever we had, and he was up there doing his thing. Well, he started screaming, so we all ran over there, we're like, what's going on, and he's like, something was clawing the tree or whatever. So we're like, what? And we're looking at the tree, you see some stuff. So I got a flashlight, and I'm looking around, and I'm looking, and I see a tree, and it's about, I don't know, about this big around.
That was my chair, by the way.
Sure it was. But it was about this big around. And I went up the tree, and I seen 2 eyes, like one on each side.
Mm-hmm.
Now the tree's this big around. It's a pretty big distance between the eyes to be able to see them. Well, underneath the eyes, I seen like human-sized hands, but they look like raccoon hands. And I didn't know what the hell it was, but I'm like, did you guys see that? And like all my buddies are like running behind me, like, what was it? I'm like, I'm just telling you what I saw. I don't know what the hell it was. And then come to find out years down the road after talking to DA, he's like, oh, that was a Dogman. That's like the exact definition of what a Dogman description is. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So
okay.
I had no idea until I talked to him about it, and then so the cryptid thing is really cool just because there's so much history behind it.
Yeah.
Especially with Native Americans.
Oh yeah.
Every Native American that's what's the cool thing about Bigfoot. I believe at one point in time, it definitely was something, Gigantopithecus, which is a proven thing. It's been, documented and everything. But every Native American culture has that.
Mm-hmm.
Or some form of
it.
Yeah.
The folklore or whatever,
right.
that everybody has. And that's the thing is we had Blondes and Booze on last week.
Oh, right on.
And they went we met them at a Paracon with Paranormal, and they've more changed their things to the cryptic. They hang out with Tex from, Texas Porch and all that, DA and all them. They know all, and we were talking about all that and stuff like that. They're out of like St. Charles and down by Poplar Bluff.
Yeah.
Right.
And they've had an encounter with a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
They were at a conference or something. They were camping.
I watched a little bit of that. They were talking about the land between the lakes.
Yeah, that's what they want to take us down there. They want us to go down there. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like a big snack pack in a tent, man.
Yeah. Our buddy DA has went down there a couple times, and he loves it down there.
Well, they said the lake down there is there's a town underneath it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a flooded town. Like that is wild. That that stuff like that.
Well, it's crazy, and you think about it. We talk about this quite often too. Like everyone's like looking to space space for aliens or whatever. I'm like, we need to look underwater. Like we have no idea what's going on down here.
The scary part is we know more about space than we do in the water.
There's a lot of things that live underneath the water. I'll tell you.
And it's like we've only discovered 9% of the ocean. I'm like, go.
Yeah.
Dude, I was listening to these Navy SEALs talk about. I'm sorry, I'm just big into like the whole military and all that stuff. But like
he's big into burly guys.
Yes, I like big burly men. No, but I was listening to these Navy SEALs talk about because they have those little submersives that they use it's like a personal submarine. It just wraps around their head.
Oh, is that the thing? The helmet?
Yeah, it just wraps around
Okay.
their head, and they use it. And he's like, man, you're down there sometimes, and it's pitch black. All you see what's in front of you, and then you feel something fucking big just go across your legs.
Oh, no,
He's like,
see.
dude,
Yeah.
it's
No,
fun.
No, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
I don't swim in lakes because I can't see the bottom of the water.
Yeah, see, I'm the
Yeah.
same way. I'm the same way.
If I can't see the bottom, my ass is not getting in there.
Right.
I have that phobia of what is it? The thalassophobia, whatever it is. It's the fear of gigantic space of water.
Oh,
My
yeah.
worst fear ever. Just
Yeah.
go in and blink. Nah.
I'm a city boy. I like concrete. I can see the bottom of a swimming pool.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, for me,
I'm with
too.
you, brother. I'm with
Yeah.
you.
I love the woods and stuff, but I like land. I'll stick
Yeah.
to the land, and
Yeah.
We're good on that.
You know,
I get
you were talking about the water being so unexplored and in space and stuff. I was watching a thing the other day, and do you guys know what SETI is? SETI is it's a scientific program. It's Search for Extraterrestrial Life.
Mhm.
Okay, they've been doing it since the 50s. What they've done is they've got these huge satellites, and they beam transmissions out into space, and they're waiting to hear something back.
Okay.
They've caught some strange stuff, but
Mhm.
nothing that would say aliens exist. Okay, but they were talking to this lady that runs SETI, and they said to her, they said, well, how do you know that there's something out there? And she said, well, here's how we look at it. We don't know that there's something out there, but we don't know that there's not something out there either. She said, that people ask her all the time, how much of space have you actually looked at to search for these extraterrestrials? And she said, look at it like this. You look at the ocean, you know that there are fish in that ocean. She said, now take a 12-ounce glass of water and take a 12-ounce glass and get water out of the ocean. Are there fish in that glass? She said, no. That's about how much of space they've actually seen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And the
Is that
scary part
minuscule of amount?
and the scary part is we know less than the ocean.
Yeah, I'm like,
Exactly.
and that's the thing is you have to be an idiot to think that we are the only human species around.
I say this all the time. We as a human race would have to be extremely arrogant to think that we are the only intelligent life in the universe.
Yeah.
True. Well,
And-
that's just wrong. There's got to be more. I mean, there could be other
There has to
humans
be.
on other planets and other, universes or whatever,
Yeah. And they don't think that we're real.
There
Right.
could be another us. That'd be cool.
There has to be.
I don't want to. No.
When you look at and believe me, I'm not going to down religion or anything. I'm not going either way here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
no
you
matter
gotta
what
vote.
you believe on the creation, the Big Bang Theory, which is what science typically believes, okay, the Big Bang Theory. So the Big Bang Theory is like the chances of that happening are, and I heard this from somebody else, is like a tornado going through a junkyard and building a 747 jet.
Hmm.
Yep,
Impossible.
that's your
There's
people.
There's a better there's a better chance of a tornado going through a salvage yard and building a 747 than there is for the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always tell people, like, when they ask, they're like, well, do you believe in this? I'm like, I can't say that they don't exist. So I
Right.
can't say
Just
they
like you
do.
said.
Like,
Right.
you
Just
know what I
like
mean?
he said,
I
I can't say that I know for granted that they're out there, but I can't say that
They're
there isn't
not.
out there.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't until someone proves that there's not, like, and that goes for anything, like aliens, Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman, whatever, werewolves, vampires. If
Right.
you can't prove that they're not real, they're real. Like
Right.
they're somewhere.
Right.
There's
And
some
then-
kind of form of it.
And then you get into the conversation of, which something we talk about, is hive mind groupthink.
Yes.
Can human beings make something happen?
Yes.
Manifest it.
Manifest it?
Yes.
Yes.
Just from being. See, and this is where I love that talk.
If
because-
you get enough people in a location thinking about the same thing, they can manifest it.
Oh, for sure.
There
Oh,
is
sure.
enough there's enough energy that we can manifest it. So this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the Native Americans, and every Native American tribe had some sort of Bigfoot or Wendigo or Sasquatch or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
What's interesting about that is when we go back and we look at images, drawings that these different tribes have done, and they could be on opposite sides of the earth, all of these drawings are extremely similar.
Mm-hmm.
And these people had no idea that one person or, that one tribe had seen the same thing. That to me makes me think that, and Ryan talks about this all the time about how we're all connected.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 100%. See, so like, I think about it like this, you can feel energy when you're with someone, you guys, you feed off each other. Mm-hmm. That's how a lot of like, tight knit military groups work. That's why they have like 6-man teams. Those guys are feeding on, they know.
Yeah.
But like, so I believe that Native Americans and before that, but before the internet was here blocking everybody's waves and everything else that's going on today, I believe that the people they call their spirit guides or whatever, or the shamans and everything like that, I think they all could communicate with each other.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And
you know what I mean?
And then you go about the manifesting thing too, is every tribe had the folklore, and they taught their kid that if you didn't behave, or the Winnebago or whatever would come and eat you, or the boogeyman or whatever. And you had those tribes back in those days manifesting that, thinking that that really was. And there you go. And then,
And you got to think, and I don't know because I am not in those tribes or anything, but I've heard some people say, and I could be wrong, that these tribes would do these, not seances, but they would do their tribal rituals.
Right. Which would manifest
these things. And it could be that they weren't, they would manifest it to curse other people,
right?
Curse people that were invading their land. For instance, the Skinwalker Ranch. I was doing research, and it says that the tribe that was there, they would a lot of times curse their land if someone were to come and take something from it.
Yes.
And just manifesting that, and then also manifesting to get rid of bad things. You're just putting that energy out, even if you're trying to get rid of bad things.
Right.
You're still giving it that energy, that it's there.
Have you guys ever ran into anything like that? Hear me out here for a second. Have you guys ever ran into anything like that during one of your investigations? What I'm getting at here is somebody goes in there, you're in the right frame of mind, you're ready to experience something, you're ready for something to happen, and then all of a sudden something happens. I mean, have you guys ever experienced anything like that? Or how do you guys walk into an investigation? I mean,
we go in very open-minded. Well, I can't say that because when I've been to a certain place and I go back for a second, what's running through my mind is what we experienced in the past.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
So my energy is more up, and then stuff ain't happening like it should have. Like, well, this happened last time I'm here, and this is not going the same way. My energy does reflect that in a way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was wondering about those investigations is how your energy plays into that.
Yeah, I start out and I'm very energetic because that's how it goes into an investigation. Like when we got an event going on, I try to get the crowd joking and laughing. We're getting everybody up, prepped, excited about going in, and going to do this because they're going to feed off that energy.
Yeah. And I think especially this year that we have new places, our mind is even more open going into these things.
Because I'm not going back to a place that I haven't been. So I'm very excited and pumped when we're going to somewhere that we haven't been.
It's funny that
all new.
It's funny that you say that because the first ever investigation going in as I wasn't even a paranormal investigator. I was just going to investigate the paranormal. And I was very open-minded. I had no idea what to expect. And I was at Missouri State Penitentiary. And that's when I saw that crawler, which is not a human. It's this manifestation of this.
It's not manifest. It's just a black.
It's just this
shadow.
Yeah.
Entity.
So,
mass.
Yeah. Black. Yeah.
So it was.
Black Mass. Oh, sorry.
But yeah,
Let's all go dance naked under the moon.
So that was the weirdest part. Is that was when I was the most open-minded about the paranormal in general.
Yeah.
All right, not to skip topics, but I know this is your other part, and I know we don't usually do this, but let's get into the horror. I'm a huge horror fanatic.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So we got a little bit of time. I wanted to, we talked about the paranormal, and I know this is a big thing for you guys and stuff. So let me hear it. What is your horror? What's your genre of horror for each one of you?
Go ahead.
Oh, like a favorite genre?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite genre? Do you have a favorite kind? I mean, you have slasher. You have second person, one person POV.
We're big in slashers, but I will tell you my favorite horror, and I've kind of talked about this and alluded to it already. I love the battle between good and evil. Mm-hmm. I like the fights. I've just always been that way. I grew up watching Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween, Jason, Friday 13th, all that stuff. I love the battle between good and evil. Those are some of my favorites. Like I love zombie flicks just because there's that battle. Vampire movies, of course. There's that fight. Those are my favorites just because that's just who I am. Mm-hmm. But I love slashers. Yeah, because most time when there's a slasher movie, it's going to be a good versus evil type situation.
Yeah.
Hey, in order to have evil, you got to have good. In order to have good, you got to have
evil. Yeah.
Can't have darkness without light.
That's right.
That's right.
There you go.
So for me, what really got me into horror, and I'm with Ryan here. I love the slasher flicks. I'm going to tell you right now. My favorite movie of all time was Halloween 1978. I think it's probably one of the best horror movies ever made. But for me, the movies that I really gravitate to, like when I'm sitting at home alone in the dark, because my wife's went to bed.
We can't talk about those movies. He's talking about horror movies.
Oh, horror movies. I'm sorry.
Not horror movies.
There was this one.
Not the W.
There was this one about a pizza boy and so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
comes across the sleepover. Yeah, I get that all the time. Yeah.
The movies that I really gravitate to though are haunted house movies. I absolutely love the paranormal films. One of my all-time favorite movie, like I said, was Halloween. But, some of my other favorite movies, of course, are like Poltergeist. The Legend of Hell House is way up there. I just love that film. I really dig those movies where people are going into these haunted, these old Gothic mansions and, fighting whatever they're gonna fight, Castle Freak or something. Yeah. Those are the movies that I really love.
Have you seen Abigail?
Yes. Yeah.
I have not yet.
That is kind of what you're just talking about, going into these old houses.
Yep.
And battling and stuff.
Absolutely. I was at the edge of my seat watching that whole movie. That movie, there ain't nothing about that movie that I'd change. I absolutely love that film.
I got to go watch it.
I loved it. It's probably one of the best movies I've seen in a long time.
Definitely gory. Definitely gory.
Definitely gory.
Yeah,
definitely
if you
gory.
like gore, that is your movie there.
And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that's actually a remake from Dracula's Daughter.
So is it a remake or is it a sequel?
It's a retelling. It's a retelling.
It's a retelling. Because when I
went
of
the
the
Dracula's Daughter story.
Yeah, because when I went and saw it, they said that it was a second part to the story. So I didn't know if it was the second part or if it was a remake.
It's more of it's a reimagining. Is how they put that. I don't think they're going to come out and say that it was actually a remake, but I've read some of the reviews on it, and some of these people are like, yeah, it's, and I can see it too, because I remember Dracula's Daughter, and there's a lot of stuff in there that was tied them together. But, that's like, but that's just like, the original Evil Dead versus Evil Dead.
Though I'll say right now, those movies
2013.
Those movies are just crazy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
The guys that made those are just totally I mean, I don't can imagine picking their brain.
Yeah. Well, the original, that was all Sam Raimi.
was a college project.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just that movie's back in the
well,
day though.
And like Halloween, which I don't know, a lot of people should know this, but Halloween was made on a very small budget. That movie was made for $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
And when it first went into the theater, it flopped. And as time went by, as the weeks went by and the word of mouth got out, it slowly started building and building and building, and then they couldn't stop it.
And then I don't know what they did with 3. That whole concept, I don't know who was thinking about.
It's funny. I hated that movie when it first came out, and now that's one of my yearly watches. I have to watch that film every year. I love it now.
About the mask, it's like totally like, where did you go from? Michael Myers to that whole concept.
Well, honestly, that was John Carpenter's original plan. Was he wanted the Halloween films to be an anthology?
Well, he definitely has it.
And so, but that the part 3 season of the witch really turned off a lot of people. So then they went back to Michael Myers as the antagonist.
So what's your favorite type of horror?
I'm like the old slasher. I am so like the old movies, the Jasons, the Friday the 13th.
Absolutely.
Michael Myers is like my friend. I mean, my leg is just filled with horror characters.
Yeah,
right.
Texas Chainsaw
Massacre.
And stuff like that. And I'm all about. And it's funny too, is because we were just talking about it. We went and saw the Civil War, and they were showing a preview of. It looked like they were remaking Jason. The movie's called Shudder. But it has like his whole like his big his chest. You never saw the front of him. You always saw the back of him through the whole preview.
Right.
It has the whole lake and the water and And I'm like, man, that so looks like like they're gonna remake Jason,
right,
and stuff. But they said the movie said it was called Shudder, but I didn't know. It sure did look like Jason, but
well,
And I was talking about nowadays the movies and back when we were kids, and they have the whole AI and they can put you any place with the green screen, and horror is so much here than when it wasn't here.
Right.
That you kids nowadays go back and watch it and they're like, dude, that's dumb.
Right.
Yeah. Like, that's scary.
Absolutely.
I'm like, well, dude, that was scary when we were kids.
Yeah. You can get online and watch people getting beheaded, like real stuff, and there's just so much stuff pushed in people's faces now. Like my kids are big into horror too, so they love horror movies and stuff like that.
For us, it's all about the atmosphere and the journey.
So for me, the
you
original.
Don't have much talk about this, do you?
No.
What's up, Mo? You don't like horror?
No, I'm not really in a big. I get scared very easily.
Yeah, you're in a paranormal group. Gotcha.
Did we lose him?
Back at 2.
Oh,
there
she is.
There we go. We're back.
Cool. Cool.
I grew up knowing it. Growing up, my dad always dressed up as Jason and Michael Myers and Texas, Leatherface. And so that's how I knew that. So, but growing up, I never really watched it, but as I get older, I've watched, The Conjuring and I watched The Nun.
Movie.
I would say I did see, I can't remember, and it was about the haunted house, like the one that the jump scare one, but there was like the murder, and while it was like people getting scared, so no one ever knew it was like fake bodies. Remember, we went and saw it at the theater.
Oh, Hellfest? Is that what it was?
Oh,
yes.
That was
Hellfest. That one creeped me out.
What a great idea for a film.
That was on our internet's going.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we missed some of that. But,
hey, let's do a haunted house and kill people. It could really happen.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I guess that it's not.
Oh, we're losing him.
Uh-oh.
We're losing him. You should message him and say, hey, we lost you. So, are we still streaming for you guys? You're stuck with us now.
What's up, everybody? What are you guys doing in there? So, hey, a little bit about us. We've been doing this show for about 5 years now, and we really don't like each other, but we like to have fun.
You know, it is what it is.
Oh, wait, they're coming back.
Hello.
Hey, we're trying to
Hey.
keep your audience entertained in here. So, we were trying to keep
but I
everybody
would say,
entertained.
Oh yeah. So I don't really have a favorite, but I guess like just because I grew up hearing my dad talk about it and Jason and Leatherface, I would have to say. Just
Right.
because that's what I
Right.
always heard about growing up.
Yeah, it's nostalgic. It's the nostalgia thing. That's why I'm big in like the movie It. I love the original It. Amazing. I love it.
Yeah, the new one wasn't too bad either.
Yes, I actually thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Did we lose you again? I think we're losing you guys.
Well, unfortunately, we're having some internet issues.
It's all good.
But,
It's all good.
it's all good. It's all good.
It's your show now.
It's your show now.
Welcome
All
to
right,
our,
here we are.
welcome to our world.
Welcome to prime time, bitch. Oh,
Well, that's a Nightmare on Elm Street. Little reference for you guys.
Yeah.
So let's see what we got going on in here. Yeah, they were having some.
yeah, they're
issues
having
earlier.
some internet issues over there, which is fine. Ryan and I have been fascinated with this stuff for a long time. We get together all the time and we talk about different things and, the paranormal and ghost stories. We're really big into ghost stories. If you guys are interested in the kind of stuff that we talk about, you can find us anywhere. Horror Chronicles Podcast at gmail.com. If you want to reach out to us, send us a message. We'll talk about anything you guys want.
Or if you guys want to come on the show,
Yeah, or if you want to be on the show,
we can set up one of these.
we can set up the same deal.
Yeah, that'd be
Same
awesome.
but different.
Same but different. But yeah, you guys
Different
come on.
picture, But yeah, we're on YouTube. We film all our shows. You can find us anywhere. We're on every podcast catcher.
Yeah, it's we do. I mean, we are kind of we get
We get a little lippy.
a little jokey and stuff, but we have really good episodes, and we
Or
like
at least we think we have really good episodes.
we like to have people on.
We like to have fun.
Right.
What we do. We talk about paranormal and cryptids and horror movies and all this stuff, but we like to have a good time while we're doing it. So
Yeah, you guys should come on then. Like honestly, we actually are. I got to get a hold of the ladies that we met at the conference.
all right, Hook Dan doesn't mind. I'm smoking.
From Appalachia.
The Connor sisters.
The Connor sisters
There we
and Miss Patty.
There we
Hey, there they are.
They're back.
There
in
they
the
are.
saddle.
There we
All
are.
right, let's everybody tell everybody.
Hey, don't worry. The whole
All
time
right,
you
we're having
were
problems, so let everybody know where they can find you and everything.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hey, don't worry. While you were gone, we did all that. We were plugging the hell out of our show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's all
okay.
good. It's all good.
It's all
Uh,
good, man. All good.
Man, I don't know if we're on or not.
You're on. We can see you.
Yeah, you guys are rolling. Oh, now you've stopped.
Nah. You guys better jump in and get out when you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Karen. That's Karen.
Oh, Texas Karen.
What's up? I just put all that together. Sorry, I wasn't reading the comments as much as I should have earlier, and I just seen something about getting back to Texas. I just noticed that was you. So-
Yeah, right on. It was the whole Karen the redhead that fucked me up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Now she's laughing at us. Thanks, Karen.
Oh, but you guys know where you can find us. Feel free to reach out to us. If you
Yeah,
guys,
by all means.
if you guys wanna
Ryan's
come
cell
on.
phone number is 5. Oh, no. Never mind.
no, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll definitely set up an episode and get you guys on. It'll be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, and even if there's just stories you guys want to hear about, shoot us an email. We'll talk about anything.
But we've actually had. I actually love talking about witchcraft and Wicca and stuff like that. So you guys definitely need to freaking hit us up because I would love to have that conversation. I think it's very interesting.
Well,
So,
thanks, Jeannie. We had a good time here.
thank you. Well, now we're just trying to make sure that we keep everybody happy.
I'll tell you what,
Wow.
randomly bookish, I'd love to get you on here and talk to you about Troy Taylor. We'll probably have to do that episode without Ryan.
Yeah, it'd be okay.
Oh, now they booted us.
Hey, you sons of.
And just like that, we're done.
And boom goes the dynamite. Oh, my ears.
Cleveland. And boom goes the dynamite.
And boom goes the dynamite. Hey, we're back.
Hey, here we are.
Hey, who? Hey, hi.
No
who?
matter where you go, there we are.
We can still hear you.
You just
cool.
can't get away from us.
So I'm glad I didn't call JT the names I wanted to call him then.
Oh, you can call me those on air. People know. People know you love me.
No.
All right, quiet. Give him a chance to get out of here.
Quiet on set.
Hello.
Hello.
You guys are good. Because they go ahead.
And they're out again.
Do we need to cancel? Hey, do you guys want us to just end the show for you?
That's it. We're just gonna take over your show.
And that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for enjoying this. Oh, if you
Please keep your seatbelt on and your trays stowed in the upright position.
we're gonna land.
Hey, wait, hold on. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I just lost my headphones.
Alrighty. So
Sorry.
where can they find you and
They already
everything,
said
social
that.
medias and everything?
Okay, so we've done all that. So
Okay,
we are
perfect.
we are the
Already
Horror
told
Chronicles
everybody. They're already
podcast.
Talking to everybody.
Yeah.
You can find us on every podcast catcher out there. We've got a
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Just get on YouTube and search for Horror Chronicles Podcast. We'll pop right up. If you guys want to get on the show, send us a message through Facebook. Our email is horrorchroniclespodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, we'd love to talk to some of you people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren
We've
and
ta-
Gina
we've-
already here
we've
trying
talked-
to steal our guests and stuff and collab.
We've talked to one of the ladies in your chat here. She's actually been on our show before.
Really?
Yeah, Karen,
Karen.
the redhead. Yep, I didn't realize that was
Karen.
her. I didn't realize that
Karen
was her.
from Texas. She come on our show and told us some really cool stories about Texas and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
pretty cool.
So yeah, I am sorry. We were doing great. and all
We
of
were
a
doing
sudden it
so
went-
great.
Oh no, you guys are good. You guys
Somebody
are good.
turned on the Xbox.
Luckily for you,
Nobody was here. That's the thing.
yeah. Luckily for you, we're left to our
Maybe it
own
was a
devices.
ghost.
Yeah, there you go. So one thing I did want to ask is what horror movie, real quick, so before we do this, what horror movie has really like just freaked you out, or if there's any, like just really scared you as a kid, or
For me, absolutely. Salem's Lot.
And for me,
the original Salem's Lot that came out in '79.
For me, when I was a kid, it was The Exorcist.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only movie that freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah.
Nowadays, nothing
The
does.
Omen was a bad one for me too.
I want to go see the new one they have out.
Yeah, the new one looks good.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about it. So.
Well, yeah.
the hell
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
But thank you
thank
guys
you
for
guys
coming
so
on.
much
I
for
Oh,
coming on.
absolutely, man. We need to do this more often.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
we'll have
for
to have
sure.
I have to try to get you to come down and come to the new studio and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
We
absolutely.
can actually
We'd love to do that.
investigate there.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to, we definitely need to.
If you
hook
guys
something
come
up.
down to Troy Taylor's, maybe we'll do that Saturday night or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to get together for sure. We'll set,
We can,
set something up.
Maybe we'll try and do that.
Yeah.
Come on
We'll,
down.
we'll run down Saturday and spend the day down there.
I have the keys to the building,
So yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
that'd
do
be cool, dude.
Sweet.
That'll be cool.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
but thanks for coming
yes,
on and everything. I
thank you.
appreciate it very much.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks
yeah.
for having us.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Horror Chronicle.
Bye, guys.
Okay, everyone.
Sorry about everybody and all their technical difficulties. And
Gina
everything.
said, or Lauren said, quick, you have 10 seconds to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Sorry if we did not get to your comments. Thank you for everyone who was on here.
Do you want to try to do it real quick?
Oh, okay.
If we go out and the Wi-Fi goes out,
We're
we'll end
done.
the show. But we'll try to get here real quick.
Let's see. Trying to You can still hear it. Okay,
Oh, there
there
we
you go. Okay. Yeah, I think we should just
All right, guys. Thank
yeah.
you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Next week, I
It's
can't remember
just-
what we have. I don't know if it's just us or not.
Oh yeah, I don't know.